Dr. Doom warns World War III between US and China has effectively begun. Why TLT is a safe haven for this reason. It's getting really obvious now that the US and China are having a war. Not only economically, but territorially. A few weeks ago, the US has just passed new regulations banning the exports of semiconductors to Chinese companies for AI, quantum computing, or military use. This week, China fired back with this. Take a shot at the US largest company, Apple, an industrial park in China that is home to the world's largest assembly plant for Apple's iPhones has been ordered to complete a 7-day lockdown. A factory in Shenzhen is owned by Foxconn, Apple's largest iPhone supplier, located in central China's Hunan province, is imposing silent management measures. Why TLT will be a safe haven asset when China invades Taiwan for real. Why World War III has effectively begun. And they just haven't told you yet. Why all of this high inflation that we are experiencing is caused by China and Russia. Let me explain it all right after this. And of course, smash the like button. If you want to be my good boy, apply to write your first book with me. Welcome back to the Audacious Money Witch channel, where we talk about macroeconomy, stocks, bonds, and commodity markets. If you like any of these markets, you are intelligent. That's why you're here, and you know what to do, and push my button if you like what you see in today's video, because I can't push it from this side. This video is brought to you by my Patreon. If you are a good boy, go to patreon.com/magicalgoddesscheryl to add more meaning into your life. If you play your cards right and completely submit like my good boys do, then I will take you under my wing. Author of best-selling books, Goddess Cheryl. My good boys always get rewarded handsomely. You are such a good boy. You like hearing that, don't you? You want it to be real. You want it to be true. You need to be my client, don't you? If you don't already know, Apple stock owned by Warren Buffett. In fact, it's his largest position. People follows Buffett when it comes to investing, especially when it happens to be his largest position for a long time. This makes Apple stock the most held stock by politicians in Congress. If Apple stock price got hurt by the outside force, it's not good for these US politicians' financial future. Foxconn, Apple's largest iPhone maker, produces 70% of its global shipments. A spokesperson at Foxconn plant told the media. So we need a lot of assembly line workers. Our company is coordinating spare production capacity at other plants. Apple's iPhone production at its Zhang Foxconn plant, the world's largest, could drop by as much as 30% next month as CCP tightens its lockdown around the area. Foxconn is trying to boost production at another factory in Shenzhen to make up for the shortfall. However, at this time, the scenario in Shenzhen is not optimistic, as it's been summarily clouded by the lockdown for quite a while. The report of the 20th Communist Party Congress, which just concluded last month, has affirmed the zero policy and started that lockdown will continue to be carried out. The lockdown comes as Apple works to meet the demand for some of its new iPhones, which launched in September. Apple CEO Tim Cook said that the company's high-end iPhone 14 Pro phones remain supply constrained. Silent management measures, meaning residents are not allowed to go out and only approved vehicles are allowed on the road until the restrictions ease November 9th. This has led to more than 10,000 employees broke out of the plant and left the city because they don't want to be forced to quarantine. October 31st, Foxconn dormitory doors were smashed. The isolation doors were busted open. All these has scared the remaining workers. They feared that the number of positive cases in the factory will continue to increase and eventually they will get infected. The CCP is using these lockdowns to potentially to hurt whoever they want to hurt and cause damage to wherever they want to cause damage. They did it to the best economic city of China, the city of Shanghai. Locked it down for months just to send a message to all the wealthy people in China. No matter who you are, billionaires or not, that CCP have the power to make them suffer. If they want to lock down Apple's factories in China, they can easily do that. That's why those workers ran away on foot. Almost like they were the criminal, but they were just working at the Apple's factory. Next thing you know, Apple is missing number massively because the factories were shut down. This could easily happen. Next quarter, we will see from Apple's number. Another reason why only China is still in lockdown is that this is the way for China to cause inflation for the West. When China is locked down, world factories are shut down. Chinese cheap goods can't be made and sold to the rest of the world. The reason why globalization is such deflationary in nature is because the cheap products China makes. Now that's over. We're not only going to have inflation and stagflation, but we'll have a stagflationary debt crisis. Rubini predicted. In addition to economic, monetary, and financial risks currently in play, the world faces higher geopolitical risks. When speaking about major global threats, Rubini mentioned the ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine, adding that Iran and Israel are on a collision course as well. It is already happening. The US has just passed new regulations banning the export of semiconductors to Chinese companies for AI or quantum computing or military use. Europeans would like to continue doing business with the US and China, but it won't be possible because of national security issues. Just this morning, I read that the Biden administration expects China to attack Taiwan sooner rather than later. Honestly, World War III has already effectively begun. Certainly in Ukraine and cyberspace, he believes that a breakup of the globalized world is looming. China is going around the world selling subsidized 5G technologies that can be used for spying. They have suggested to the Saudis that they price and charge for the oil they sell them in the Chinese yuan. And they have more sophisticated payment systems than anyone else in the world. Alipay and WeChat Pay are used by a billion Chinese every day for billions of transactions. In Paris, you can already shop at Louis Vuitton with WeChat Pay. Just imagine the impact of a Chinese attack on Taiwan, which produces 50% of all semiconductors in the world and 80% of the high-end ones. That would be a global panic. We depend more on semiconductors today than we do oil. Global trade will collapse totally. That's how depression starts. That's why long bond TLT will be a safe haven when that happens. Trade, finance, technology, internet, everything will be upside down. Finally, Rubini said debt levels are higher than they've ever been, adding that all this represents a confluence of mega trends that he predicts will combine into a stagflationary storm that will engulf many of the world's economies. It's not just the end of the world economy. It could be even global war. We would be lucky if we got an economic crisis like in the 1970s, and not a war like in the 1940s. And now I'm going to show you my client Juliana Wood's book, Burning in the 2020 Flames. Such a great book. And my client Teddy Eazzy's book, Wicked Pussy Perfume. It's an erotic novel, such an amazing book. And my book, Time, Awareness, and Secret Millionaire. It's another nice book. And my book, Mystical Dragonfly Dreams. You are such a good boy for watching my video right till the end. And please remember to push my button. Bye.